UFC 322 takes place this weekend. Islam Makhachev takes on Jack Della Maddelena in the main event. My name is Betsam, and I'm going to break down the entire card from bottom to top. There will be timestamps below, so you can jump to whichever fight you want to do. Let's get into it. First fight of the night is going to be Vyacheslav Borchev taking on Mateus Camillo. And guys, at this point, what are we doing? Vyacheslav Borchev, 8-6. He has lost 3 of his last 4 fights. He's taking on Mateus Camillo. The only fight that Vyacheslav Borchev won, by the way, it's very notable to point out, it was against James Yontop, who is no longer in the UFC, never should have been. And so here against Mateus Camillo, I have to take Mateus here because despite my love for Vyacheslav Borchev, I mean, if you went through my Instagram DMs, I have a lot of love for this guy. I really wanted him to succeed inside the UFC, but my job here is to give you guys winning predictions. And as far as I can predict this fight, you cannot trust Slava clause at this point. So the pick is going to be Mateus Camillo. Am I going to do anything with that? Absolutely not. I'm not going to be betting on Mateus Camillo, who went out there last time out against Gabe Green and lost, hasn't proven that he can beat UFC talent. So I'm going to pray and cheer for Vyacheslav Borchev at this point. I was surprised to see he still had a UFC contract, if I'm honest with you. I like the guy. I would like to see him succeed here, but the pick has to be Camillo. So I'm going to say Mateus Camillo wins this fight by submission or decision. That's where I'm going to go with that. Then we have my boy Baisangur Susurkaev taking on Erin McConico. And while Baisangur Susurkaev is a tremendous favorite coming into this, he's like a minus 800. I want to say that the odds are looking like for this one. Let's have a look here. Baisangur Susurkaev, he's sitting at, 10-1 favorite at this point, minus 1,000. He comes into this bout here against Erin McConico. 10-0, undefeated, had a little bit of adversity in his last time out, but you will say, I think you could chalk that up to the fact that he took that fight on such short notice, straight after making his Dana White's Contender Series appearance, then coming in and having to make weight again on such a short format. Your chin can be a little bit questionable, shall we say. Here against Erin McConico, I don't think he's going to have to worry about that. Eric isn't exactly a dangerous striker. I know he's got some finishes on his record, but he's not somebody that's going to put himself in harm's way to try and land something wild. This guy tries to fight smart, and it's still not going to be enough against Baisangur. I think if he shoots a takedown, he's going to end up submitted. If they stand out at range, I think he's going to get knocked out. Baisangur Susurkaev by whatever he wants within the first round and a half. That's going to be my official prediction. Let's go Baisangur Susurkaev by knockout, round 1. That's what I'm going to say there. Then we have Angela Hill, Overkill Angela Hill, shall we say. And I'm going to change her nickname to Angela Hill Over the Hill because I think she's too old here. I think she's long in the tooth and she's past it. 18-15 record. She's not a contender. She's a little too small in this matchup here. And Fatima Kline, quite frankly, I think is going to be able to do whatever she wants to her. I think in the striking department, she's going to pack more power. I think that in the grappling department, she's going to be able to hold Angela Hill down time and time again and potentially even find a finish. I think Fatima Kline wins this fight 30-27 or by finish. Give me Fatima Kline by whatever she wants. Then we have Pat Sabatini taking on Chepe Mariscal. And I must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed or something because I seem to be the only one on the planet who isn't riding Chepe Mariscal's dick into this weekend. And what I mean by that is this guy is an underdog, but it seems like every single person that I know is picking Chepe, which I understand the love for him considering he's active in the scrambling, he's got a lot of cardio, he's got a lot of energy, and he's training with Marab. I mean, these are all things that you want to like, but Pat Sabatini, quite frankly, showed us that he can blanket grapple anybody. He held down Joanderson Brito like nobody's business, and I think he could potentially do that here to Chepe Mariscal. This could be an unentertaining bout where he wins a 29-28 decision by just holding Chepe down for 2 of the 3 rounds. And as far as submission capability goes, he's almost second to none. I mean, the jiu-jitsu specialty that Pat Sabatini brings here, I think the stats out that if this guy gets you down, he doesn't lose the fight. So I think he takes Chepe Mariscal down, so I'm going to pick him to win the fight. The odds are closely lined here. Pat Sabatini a slight favorite. Chepe Mariscal was a slight favorite at one point. Now he's moved to dog money. I'm going to go Pat Sabatini here to win this fight by submission or decision. Let's move up the line. We have Carl Daukaus taking on Gerald Meerschaert. And guys, I genuinely believe that this is the best buy on the card. If we take a little look over here on fight odds, you can see that he's priced at... Where is he sitting here? My eyes deceive me. He's sitting at 1.20. If you got on this earlier in the week, you would have been able to see that this guy was sitting at 1.34. But he's a 5-1 favorite here, and I think for goddamn good reason. When he was a 3-1 favorite, I would have said best buy on the card. Now at 5-1, it becomes questionable. But Kyle Daukaus should go out here and just put hands on Gerald Meerschaert. The striking of Kyle Daukaus is immensely better than Gerald Meerschaert. His athleticism is better. He's bigger. I think his grappling is going to be able to contend. Kyle Daukaus went out there against Brendan Allen and showed that he can handle himself in the grappling against the elite of the elite in the middleweight division. He's younger. He's making his resurgence here. It's Kyle Daukaus by finish and by whatever he wants. I think that this could be a Kyle Daukaus KO or submission spot. I'm not supremely confident in either, but I'm going to say that Gerald Meerschaert, gets in on the grappling, but gets stuck underneath Kyle Daukaus, and we see a TKO stoppage from Kyle Daukaus just hitting Gerald Meerschaert, and the referee begging for him to show him something, and Gerald just doing nothing. So give me the end of GM3's career. He's going to end it this week. This is going to be the last time we see Gerald Meerschaert here at UFC 322. Then we have Malcolm Wellmaker taking on Ethan Ewing, and I'm going to just breeze past this. Ethan Ewing, if that's how I'm even saying it, I watched a couple of minutes of this guy right before I filmed this just to see, because this is a short notice matchup. It just took place. This guy's getting knocked out. It is what it is. Malcolm Wellmaker by KO in rounds 1 or 2. And the line will not be minus 155. I imagine it's going to be tremendous. So, let's move on. We have Erin Blanchfield taking on Tracy Cortez. Guys, I'm a Tracy Cortez certified non-believer at this point. I think that Tracy Cortez is far more interested in doing her makeup and turning up for media day than she is about training. I know that she looks good and she looks like she's in shape and looks like she's been doing the work. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. Erin Blanchfield has been getting that work in. She's over there with Fatima Kline, getting those rounds in, trying to better improve herself. And she's tough as shit. This girl went out there, was losing almost every minute against Benoit, but gave herself a fighting chance, pushed forward the entire time. Didn't have a very good game plan, I will say that. But, I think against Tracy Cortez, her just absolute grit and determination is going to be enough to get it done over 3 rounds. So give me Erin Blanchfield to win this fight via decision or potentially submission. But I'm going to lock in with decision. Then we have Roman Kopylov taking on Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. I was very high on Roman Kopylov going into his last bout against Paulo Costa, but the fact that he was unable to make adjustments in that fight to give himself a competitive edge there really just put me off him entirely. So I'm going to go Robocop here, and I think Robocop even finds a finish, because when this guy gets on you, if he starts to snowball, it's a dangerous time in there for you. So I'm going to go Robocop to either knock out or submit Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov I'm absolutely off of him after his last performance there against Paulo Costa. I refuse to believe that Paulo Costa is that good. It's more that Roman Kopylov just absolutely shit the bed there. Let's see if he can put it back together here. Because Gregory Rodrigues, the one thing I will say, just to play devil's advocate, is he is hittable. So if Roman Kopylov is able to tee off on Gregory Robocop, we have seen him finished up by KO before. It is absolutely possible. The dude is older. I think he's like 36 years old, but we all know that Gregory Rodrigues is at least 45. Those guys from Brazil do be lying about their age inside of the UFC. We've seen it with Jose Aldo. It's probably the same here with Robocop. But look at this guy. Telling me and this guy are somewhat of the same age. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. We have Bo Nickel taking on Rodolfo Viera. Probably another lying about their age Brazilian in Rodolfo Viera. Takes on Bo Nickel. Listen, Bo Nickel, despite losing to René de Ridder, he is America's golden child. They want him to do well. They've given him this matchup on purpose. They realized it was a little bit too much too soon with the RDR pick. They've gone to the budget RDR. We've got Rodolfo Viera here. He's going to get fucking smoked. Bo Nickel by whatever he wants. Probably a finish in rounds 2 or 3 with a speech talking about how he's back and, he wasn't himself against RDR. Let's go Bo Nickel, though. Then we've got Beneil Dariush taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. Guys, I was a little bit torn in this fight because obviously Benoit Saint-Denis shit the bed, laid an egg as Slam of the Week against Renato Moicano. What do we do with that information? Honestly, nothing. I think that there was a position that he fucked up in very early on, and then because of his eagerness, he tried to get out and got himself injured. If he just tried to mitigate damage and ride out the round, he probably would have won that fight, but that's not what happened. In this matchup here against Beneil Dariush, I think he's going to fight a little bit more methodical. He's been talking about war, but if you listen in, he's also been talking about how, since working with his head coach, he's also been training it and dialing it in, trying to show all facets of mixed martial arts. In the training, you can see Benoit Saint Denis doing a lot of drills that are going to help him in grappling type scenarios. I think Benoit Saint Denis knocks out Beneil Dariush and probably sends him packing from the UFC, to be honest with you. Beneil Dariush, no spring chicken here, and I think a knockout loss could spell the end from here. Give me Benoit Saint Denis to win this fight inside the distance. Then we have Leon Edwards taking on Carlos Prates. Guys, this is where I'm going to take a little pause, okay, because there's something I got to address here. Carlos Prates was my original pick, right? When I looked at this card, I thought, Carlos Prates, man, Leon Edwards is over the hill. You go back and you watch the tape. Leon Edwards isn't as washed as people think, man. Yes, against grapplers, he has struggled, but his striking isn't exactly like it's declining. And I think without the element of grappling, coming from his opponent here, I could absolutely see Leon Edwards reverting back to the Leon Edwards of old with, showing a lot of those hips, a lot of those feints, those fakes, and getting his opponent to bite on stuff. Because we've seen Carlos Prates do it before. We've seen him get touched up from shots down the middle. We've seen him losing fights and come back from behind to win. Trevin Giles, by example. I don't think he's going to have time to come back here. This is only a 3-round fight. If Leon Edwards banks the first round, and then you've got to go, I've got to finish Leon Edwards in this next round, that's a very, very slippery slope. And to be a 2-1 favorite here, Leon Edwards almost a 3-1 dog. It has to be Leon Edwards here. So I'm going to go Leon Edwards here. Underdog pick, Leon Rocky Edwards to win this fight. And honestly, a finish is live. A finish is absolutely live here because Leon Edwards has the better grappling. I don't think that's up for dispute. I think Leon Edwards absolutely has better grappling. He has more technical striking than Carlos Prates, and he showed us that he is a much better minute winner. But at the same time, his high kick could find a home. When I was doing the tape on this fight, and I have to bring this up, I was thinking about not bringing it up because maybe I'm just seeing things different to everybody else, but when Carlos Prates has exited a lot of times, he dips down into the right-hand side for himself there and puts his head way down like this, which is right into the power side kick of Leon Edwards. And I genuinely could see him trying to do the same thing here and getting head kick knocked out. Leon Edwards flicks that leg up incredibly quickly. So I think that head kick is live here against Carlos Prates. I'm going to go Leon Edwards to win this fight by KO or decision. Let's move on to the next fight here, guys. We have Sean Brady taking on Michael Morales. And this is a fight that had me scratching my head a little bit. And only because Sean Brady, is an incredible grappler. I will absolutely give him that. But Michael Morales is huge for this division. This guy is enormous. And he's a good wrestler. He's a good striker. He's basically the top dog in Ecuador for everything of his facets. But, Sean Brady has showed us that his grappling works against high-level athletes, against high-level welterweights. We've seen Sean Brady come out on top. The one thing that I'm struggling with here is the size, is the youth, and I think that Michael Morales, in a couple of years, would absolutely be the side here. I don't know if it's now, so I'm going to lean ever so slightly to Sean Brady. I almost picked Michael Morales. This was a real tough one for me, and I'm not a wishy-washy kind of picks guy, but, I did struggle with this one. Ultimately, I'm going to go with Sean Brady here because we've seen him be more battle-tested, but I will not be surprised at all to any outcome in this fight here. Low confidence pick. Give me Sean Brady to win this fight by submission or decision. I think he uses the grappling here. Hunts for the neck if it's exposed to him. Otherwise, rides out positions. Then we have in the co-main event, we have Valentina Schevchenko taking on Zhang Weili. Guys, this is my official underdog opportunity. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's an absolute fucking banger. I'm taking Zhang Weili here. Lighter woman skill here. I genuinely think that she has just come in and just given us more effort. In all of her title defenses, all the rest of it, she's just showing more. She's doing more. She never settles. And her coaches, they call her ferocious. I agree. I think Zhang Weili is going to come and push and push and push and push. And I think even if she's down a couple of rounds early on, she will go and go and go. And unless Valentina finishes her, she's going to have to fight a perfect 25 minutes because Zhang Weili is coming. And she's coming all night long, man. So give me Zhang Weili coming up in weight here to become a 2-division champion. I like it. Let's go China. All right. Let's go China. All right, let's go Jack Della Maddelena taking on Islam Makhachev. We have Australia versus the mountains of Dagestan. You already know, guys. I see a motherfucker with a beard and no mustache. It's got to be. It's got to be. I'm going Islam Makhachev here. I genuinely think that this is my thought process, right? Is these guys did training with Belal. As soon as Belal lost this fight, they're like, easy, let's go to 170. And you might say that it's just wishful thinking, all the rest of it. You might say that I'm creating a narrative here. I think that these guys absolutely destroyed Belal in the training room. I know Belal's a good fighter, but I think Islam, Khabib, all the rest of them, I think when it came to the grappling, I think they had this guy beat pillar to post. And I think that they have a quiet, confident chip on their shoulder here that they're going to be able to ragdoll and do whatever the hell they want to Jack Della Maddelena. Everybody that's picking Jack Della Maddelena goes, have you seen what Volk did? Volk's so small. Volk almost did this, right? Volk, number one, isn't that small. Used to be a big guy, packs on a lot of muscle. Those compact frames when you're grappling, I think are very different to deal with. This is exactly the type of frame that Islam's used to dealing with. I expect them to get to the neck and find a choke. Give me Islam Makhachev, round 1 submission. Guys, that is the breakdown. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with me, and if you want to see my official bets, breakdowns, tools, and more, sign up to WeWantPicks.com/betsam. The link is in the description. It is only $10 a month. I will see you there. Thank you all for watching.